Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Soul with Soul Tarot. So happy to have you guys back for another reading. The intention I set for today was really tapped into this divine paradigm shift that's happening between a mix of different energies, right? We have astrological energy of the new moon tomorrow. We also have the solar eclipse happening at 7 p.m. over Antarctica, which is just an interesting place for it to happen. I'm looking forward to seeing the photos of the eclipse, hopefully the next day, from the scientists that are there. I'm getting sidetracked. Point is, I was called by Spirit to touch on kind of this paradigm shift that's happening over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours. Today's reading is going to be a little bit different than normal. We're going to dive into just the oracle cards in and of itself. I'm not doing a pick a card. This is more in alignment of like what you need to hear right now as these energies shift and transverse into different realms. I call in my guides, your guides, tapping into the collective consciousness tapestry, as you will, to guide us in the soul focus for today's reading. So as I mentioned, I've been, again, not only feeling this personally as far as a paradigm shift, but I've been feeling this culturally within our societies, not just in the US where I'm located, but also globally. And so I really want to tap into that energy to provide the wisdom, knowledge, information that you all watching this video will receive here today. All right, we have wonders. That is so amazing. That is so amazing. Every time I pull this card, I'm always in awe because of just the idea of wonders. I know that right now, the energies of above are definitely impacting us below, right? If you're familiar with the Hermetic principles, right? As above, so below correspondence. This is what we're going to be seeing more of. I feel like this new paradigm is going to shift us into a place of like a little bit of shock, but like in a good way. Like we're just going to be amazed by the things that unfold over these next few weeks, months. Another thing I really love about this card is just the colors themselves, right? We have this purple, blue, green. It almost looks like the Aurora Borealis with a galaxy in the middle, with the crystal quartz, of course. We have selenite here, which is a very cleansing, purifying crystal, for those of you who are wondering. And so this reminds us that like everything that exists outside of Earth has a direct impact on us as individuals and as a collective. And we just need to remain open to what will show itself essentially in this new paradigm shift. So before we actually get into the rest of the oracles, I did want to touch on the crystals that I chose for today. So as I mentioned, I have selenite here, which is a clarifying, purifying crystal to remove any negative energies that might be in the space so we can get as clear of a reading from the divine spirit ancestors today. And then we also have carnelian. So if you tune into my last reading, your relationship with love, there was actually a pile with the mushroom carnelian. And I just love this stone because it really incites energy, confidence, creativity, vitality, and it's associated with our lower chakras, the root, sacral, solar plexus, which is honestly such an amazing connection even with this card because like I mentioned, this is kind of like the higher chakra energy. We have heart chakra, higher heart, turquoise here, throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra, woo, even maybe high crown chakra. All that to say that I know that the paradigm shift that's happening right now is really calling society to move away, or not move away, because we still need the lower chakras, right? We need balance in life. But there is going to be more of an emphasis on the higher chakras manifesting themselves, which are going to show up as like wondrous, shocking, flabbergasted, like forms of realization. So we move, up from the root, sacral, solar plexus chakra into the higher, again, heart, high heart, throat, third eye, crown chakra energy. But again, for those of you who are not as familiar with the crystal of carnelian, it was a stone that ancient Egyptians used as well for transcendence into the afterlife to represent their heart. And so they would actually use this stone for a lot of amulets for like the scarab beetle and other forms and shapes that they wanted to send their dead with. Just a little historical insight there. We also have August and Virgo birthstones showing up here. And for those of you who maybe may not be as familiar with crystals, crystals are really a powerful tool to understand the energies that we're experiencing at any given time and to balance those energies, right? Everything is balanced ultimately. And crystals are a great modality, tool, object, let's say, from the earth that's natural that can help us realign those energies. All right, let's move into some of the other oracle decks. So we have Wonders. Let's see. We have Antelope Spirit. Okay, yeah. Life is speeding up. So this is giving Eight of Wands energy of just like quick, fast moving change. If you guys know anything about antelopes, they are very hard to catch because they are so extremely fast. This directly aligns perfectly with what I was saying about the new moon energy, the solar eclipse, like all of these big planetary and universal energies are going to manifest themselves into our manifested reality very quickly, starting tomorrow. Let's pull another card from the Animal Spirit deck. So we have here 66, White Raven. You guys, I love synchronicities. Synchronicities are my thing. I can see synchronicities in all things. I have some people who tell me, oh, you're just looking for the synchronicities. And it's like, no, I'm not looking for them. It's just when they're obvious, right? Like how some people say angel numbers or like repeating numbers or just like repeating symbols or animals that show up in their life. It's like, no, you're not going to ignore something that is repetitively showing up in your life. You're going to take that as a sign that it means something more. I do think that some things don't warrant like digging into too far, but when, and I mentioned this in my reading, either the last reading or the first reading I did recently, but anytime you see something repeat in threes, that is a very clear indication from, you know, the astral realms, the realms that which we cannot see, that are trying to send us either individually or collectively a message. And so here with the White Raven Spirit, we have trust in the magic. And that was what I was saying about wonder. So that's that new paradigm. Like things are going to be happening that like people can't even explain. Like that energy of like unexplainable, you know, events, connections, experiences. Like honestly, even expect a miracle. Why not? Sheesh. Why not? Let's see what else we have here. Okay. We have humility and shadow self. I love this. Oh, wow. We have interesting colors showing up here. I'm going to switch that so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Which is so funny because it kind of plays into what I was saying about the chakras earlier, right? So like we have this kind of like reddish orangey energy over here. Again, that's more the lower chakras. And then we move into this like bluish, greenish, purple tones. But basically what I'm getting with this humility card, as this new paradigm enters, we're being called to step into life, step into realization of not just ourselves, but of the people in our lives who we interact with, of how having humility and compassion can really change someone's life. Like a simple interaction where you smile at, even if you don't know the person, like if you smile at someone, you know, it just sends a nice energy of like, I see you, I recognize you. Like we are different expressions of the divine and acknowledging someone else, even if you have no relation connection to them, is a sense of humility in and of itself, because it's acknowledgement of like, we are a feather of the bird. Ah, birds of a feather, we should stick together. That's basically what I'm seeing there. Okay. And then with the shadow self here, this is such a wonderful card to actually have shown itself for a few reasons. I'm going to tell you a few things that are popping up. One, so with shadow self, this is very much tapping into like shadow work, deep self-reflection, facing the ego, right? Like this little cat is like looking at itself in the mirror and it sees like itself as a lion, even though it's obviously not a lion. But the reflection is not necessarily tricking it, right? And one of the other references that I was going to make that could further seal the deal on this image is if you've seen, what is it, the first Harry Potter movie, right? For those of you who have not seen the first Harry Potter and want to, quick spoiler alert, either you fast forward or you're just going to hear the spoiler, sorry, because it makes 100% sense with this card. But basically, he sees himself in the mirror. There's this huge mirror, just random mirror propped up in this empty room, and he sees in the reflection his parents. And his parents are like reassuring him. They have their hands on his shoulders, like, you know, comforting him in his a sense of, you know, aloneness, abandonment, as obviously an orphan whose parents were killed by Voldemort. We know that part, right? Even if you've never seen Harry Potter. And so the mirror wasn't necessarily showing him his future, right? Initially, he thought, oh, maybe this is me reuniting with my parents. But obviously that was an illusion because his parents are dead. But it's like he was seeing an aspect of himself that he wanted, that he desired. And it's like this little cat is seeing that he wants to be this lion, you know? And one can get there, right, by looking at their reflection in the mirror. But in order to get to that energy, right, one also has to do the work of the shadow that is withholding it from actually stepping into the energy that it sees within itself or that it truly desires. So I think that that's a really great card to have shown up here in this reading today. And I'm putting it next to the antelope spirit because I think what is also speeding up is the shadow work. Like people's, not to say dark side, but the ego, let's say the negative aspects of the egos will illuminate, will become enlightened with this new paradigm that's coming forth. Because light is going to be more powerful than the dark. I know globally there are a lot of chaotic energies, there's wars, there's, you know, hidden secrets that are being brought to the light, Epstein files being one of them, for an example. So it's like this energy of deep self-reflection and like sitting with the dark sides of oneself is what's going to bring forth this like enlightenment and this humility and understanding that like we are all connected. And so we can only change our external environment, change our realities if we do the inner work, right? The inner healing, essentially. So how can our collective do the inner healing, spirit? Let's take some cards from the self-care oracle. How can beauty ritual? Okay, so that's very specific, obviously, for let's say females, but actually, you know, men can have their own version of a beauty ritual, right? They could have grooming, they can have, you know, treating yourself to a massage, but spirit here is calling for a beauty ritual, or let's say ritual of some sort, right? Whether it's doing your nails or just taking a little bit more time in the morning to just like focus on your appearance, I think is a way that you can step into this wondrous energy. It's so funny. We have spent time with animals directly over life is speeding up, and this lion energy. Oh, wow. Look at that. I mean, obviously this is a reindeer and this is an antelope, but I love that. We're going to put that right there. Spend some time with animals. That's what we can do, right? Actually, I love that animals came out, right? Because we have animals in each card, and except for the starting card. But Yeah, spending time with animals is another way for us to really, like, again, strip away the ego. Like, when you're engaging with an animal, right, you can't, I mean, you can say things to it, but it's not going to respond to you the way a human will with words, right? So it's like you have to match the energy of that which the animal is giving you, in order to find that, like, love, cohesion, um, union, right, with the animal that you're engaging with. So, like, that's what we're being called to, like, that energy that we give to animals, we want to also give to people, right? Because all living things are animated, right? They have some sort of spirit or soul energy to them. Like, even the things that we think don't have energy or an energy life force in them. And that's especially clear when it comes to animals. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Abundance planning. Okay. Getting our finances in order and plan a vacation. So those are kind of correlated. Just taking a second. So for those of you who are interested in which animals are here, we have the eastern bluebird, we have an owl, we have a reindeer, a husky, a spider, I think that's a cat, a butterfly, and a squirrel. And some of the abundance, so for those of you who are wondering, like, oh, well, what type of abundance planning I can do, you can review your living expenses, like, think about where you want to invest your money. Like, okay, actually, this is another message that's coming in clear. So money, like paper money, digital money, however you think about money, is a form of currency, right? Like, think about the word currency, like it has current in it, right? So it flows. And so where money goes, energy flows. So being very intentional in this new paradigm of where you're investing and putting your money is going to show itself very clearly to you. So, like, if you're putting all your money into, like, shopping and buying things on Temu, like, you're going to get poor, low quality things, and you're going to keep reinforcing that pattern of, okay, I shop at Temu, like, I'm going to just contribute to fast fashion economy with no consideration of the impact that the dollars that I'm giving to this company actually have on our planet and the people who work there. So, like, this is what I perceive the card to really be calling out, is like, we want to put our money towards the things that bring us not just more abundance and happiness and joy and love, but the things that have true value in our life. And that's going to become more clear after this new moon and solar eclipse energy really comes into fruition. So we have here living expenses, education and business, self-development, savings, travel. Keep track of your finances. Don't shop when you're hungry. Actually, that's a really good note for the collective as well, that I actually recently came into the realization of, which is that when the body is hungry, right, it's not optimized at its fullest to make clear, decisive decisions, right? And so that's not to say, like, overeat before making a big decision, but that's to say, like, nourish your body, mind, soul, spirit before you go ahead and make big financial decisions, because oftentimes we don't make good decisions when our bodies are hungry or craving things, because we're just trying to satiate, right? We're just trying to essentially release the craving that we're experiencing. And then with plan a vacation, we have here, I think, okay, yeah. A lot of people are going to be taking trips during this time, right? We have life is speeding up. That could definitely literally mean travel. We have focus here with the octopus. And we have healing. Interesting. A lot of different energies coming in, but we'll get a little bit more clarity in a second with our final oracle deck here. We also have the ginkgo plant again, moon energy, healing energy, focus. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the little heart in like the bubble, the thinking bubble of the octopus. Focus on the things you love. When you focus on the things you love and you put your money behind those things, education, business, self-development, the things that bring you joy, That's where you're going to see the wonders of your life opening up. And trust in the magic of it. White Raven. Yeah, trust in the magic of it. Okay, let's just get one more card from this deck. Spirit, what does the collective need to know about this new paradigm shift? True love. Oh, I love that that fell right on top of healing. This like really correlates nicely with the reading that I did last week on your relationship with love, because I was tapping into collective energy about how as a society we can really reflect on what love means in our life. And true love, the heart, right? True love comes about when we open our minds to infinite possibilities, when we spend time with animals, right? Because they really do bring out the best in us. They bring out that vitality, that confidence. They remind us that like life is sweet, you know? Life is really sweet. We have peace and harmony. Oh, I love that. Okay, we have cards flying over here. It says unsuccessful outcome to a problem, and then good luck. So obviously, again, this is a collective reading, so there's going to be different energies that show themselves. This, okay. Take care, enemies are working against you. Okay, that's interesting. And then we have good news. Wow, so this is, it's funny because it's all falling over there. So it's almost like it's like past tense, I'm getting. Yeah, that's what we're moving away from. Yeah. Yeah, with that shadow self. Okay, I think I see what we're getting here. So as I mentioned, this paradigm shift is ushering in a new focus, right? A focus towards love, a focus towards healing, a focus towards reflection, travel, exposing ourselves to different experiences and people that are going to put us in a place of peace and harmony and love, true love, and that's what's going to bring collective healing, right? So the good news and good luck that's coming in, we have purple again here, a little bit of a purple background as well here. The good news that's coming in is that we're moving away from this energy of feeling like the world or things are up against us. Like I recognize that in our society, especially in the US, it's very much like rat race, like toiling away, like no time for oneself to do any of this, right? Like you're always working, hustling to get, like that paradigm is breaking down. And that's actually the enemies that I am perceiving from this card. Like that's the system, you know, that's like the powers that be that want to steal your love, your joy, your luck, your peace, your harmony. And this broken bridge is really just calling to show that the way that you or society even has solved certain problems have not resulted into the bridge being mended. It's actually resulted into more problems coming forth. And so that's the old paradigm of like not really finding a true conclusion to the problem. All right, here we have increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. We have you are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. See, so this is what I was saying, like this is that old energy. And then we have dealings or relationships with a man with dark complexion or hair. So for some of you, I mean, we're still in this love energy. I mean, we're still technically in the Valentine's Day weekend energy. So love is still very much in the air. For some of you, this could be, you know, this new paradigm could be a new relationship. Again, for some of you, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But these are all the messages I have for you guys today. It was pretty clear what spirit, those on the astral realm, are trying to communicate to the collective right now. As I mentioned, just to sum it up one more time, increasing our efforts in healing and focusing on our peace and harmony, which will allow good news and good luck to manifest itself in our lives, shifting away from those that are out to get us. We don't even need to, like, we don't even need to spend our time like in that energy, because that's literally the past. Like, we need to put our focus on trusting in the magic of what's to come, the wonders of life, because the possibilities are endless, because things are going to be moving in very quickly. And that shadow work is really what's going to help you, the collective, achieve what it is that they really want in alignment with their heart, right? Because you are on the right path, right? So whatever you're working on, whether that's a career prospect, a relationship, whether it's yourself, keep going. Everything is happening exactly as it's meant to. That's all I have for you guys today. Love and light. Till next time.